Green, green, green.
Gentlemen, start.
Good evening and welcome to Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News with Scott Allen and Juicy Joe Staples OGK. I know there's somebody out there listening. So
That's gonna love that.
That's going to be a big deal there.
So we got a lot to do tonight. We're gonna have.
Well, let me start with one thing though. We were supposed to have Max Siegel and Jefferson Hodges tonight. They're at the SEMA show out in Las Vegas, and we're not able to call in tonight. So we're going to have them next week. So for all you were waiting to see them, we're sorry, but they got a scheduling malfunction between them. So
Yeah. So, and if there's any questions you'd like to answer, please let us know. Message Jack or I, or post it on the Jack Dodson's news show page.
Yeah.
And we'll try to get those answered.
So yeah, and we'll hopefully have everybody here with us next week. Got a decent show tonight. Waiting on a phone call right now from somebody that I'm pretty close to. So.
Yeah, we'll have a good show. We're gonna have Lee Dodson on, your son, front end guy on Jeff Gordon's car. It's gonna be interesting. I don't think anybody hated to see him win yesterday or Sunday. After that, we're gonna have Nick Harris, crew chief, on the 3 car. In the Xfinity Series for Ty Dillon. And then 7:30 we got
Andrew Dixon.
He's
from Australia. He's an Australian that's been in racing for quite a little while and been around to a lot of teams. He's at RCR right now, but he's an engineer.
he's 33.
On the 33 with Danny Stockman. So he's got an interesting background and some things that I'm pretty interested to find out about.
It'd be interesting. How in the world do you go from Australia to come here to work in NASCAR?
7, 0, 4, 2.
All right, here's the first call. I'm gonna let you introduce him.
4,
No, that'd be weird.
4. Say answer or.
How you doing, Lee?
What's going on?
Man, I don't know. Tonight we got Lee Dodson, front end guy on Jeff Gordon's car. What time did you end up leaving Martinsville?
We got out of there. Man, I want to say it was around 8 before I left. I got home around 10.
Did you sleep any?
It took me a little while to go to sleep, that's for sure. I called my wife on the way home. I told her, man, I really don't even feel good. She said, it's got to be the nerves. Got to be. I felt like I wanted to throw up, but I was too excited, so I really didn't know what was going on. But yeah, I finally did get to sleep around 2. I woke him up, woke the little boy up when I got home. He wasn't a very big fan of trying to celebrate, but we tried anyway.
Well, I want to say from me, and I'm sure from all of us, congratulations. I know that had to be so rewarding after the kind of tough season y'all have had up to this point. I mean, you guys have raced well, but you just haven't capitalized on it in the races.
No, you go over last year, everything seemed to go a whole lot easier this year, and then, my wife said it's pretty funny things. In the off-season, Jeff announced his retirement. She kept telling me, she said, well, we really know if racing's rigged, like everybody says it is this year, with him being a champion, or a previous champion, we'll see if it's really rigged. And we go to Daytona and get the pole, and I was like, oh my God, it is rigged. And ever since that pole at Daytona, man, we've had fast cars at the speedways, obviously, but we just hadn't had the luck or I don't really know. I wish we could know. I guess our engineers would like to know what went wrong, but it hasn't been the easiest season. But I think last year we may have won a little bit earlier than what we needed to. Obviously, we burned all our good luck up, I guess, too early in the season. This year we're winning at the right time, which that's the way the format is. You win, you're in. So it's definitely not been easy. It's been a lot of long hours. We go to the wind tunnel once or twice a week, try to find out every little kind of downforce or whatever we need, and we implement it on the next week's car, and that requires, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night some nights. So it's been rough, but it's paying off at this point, obviously.
So where does y'all's focus, where does y'all's plan now going forward? Are y'all kind of just going to test from here to Homestead and put everything focused on Homestead?
Well, we got into work. Obviously, we usually get off Mondays. This week's been a little bit different just because the we've got to do 2 weeks of prep work just because our truck is going to go to Texas and it's not going to come home. We're going to swap out cars for Phoenix after the race is over. So we had to get 2 weeks worth of work done in the last 3 days or 2 days. But we're going to go. We've changed car rotation around. We're going to take a brand new car to Texas. We won March, so obviously we're in a little bit different spot. We're going to take another car in Indy, and we're going to take that brand new car. We're going to do work, go to wind tunnel, whatever we got to do to get it even better to go to Homestead. So it's going to be brand new. It's got one purpose. We had a big team meeting this morning, and that car is brand new. It's 964 is the chassis number. And it's got one purpose to go down to Homestead. It's going to be retired after that. It's got one purpose to go down there and win a championship. They took the car from this weekend. It's going in the museum. And we're going, last year we had that race won. I feel like we were up second and a half on the field, and then obviously all the controversy started. But I still want a cowboy hat, and I think everybody on that team wants a cowboy hat. So I think we're going to go. We got to keep the momentum going, so that's what it's going to take. Even though we're not all the way there on that intermediate stuff, like the 4 or the 22. I think 22 obviously is the best car, but it's good to have him in the hole, and we need to get the 4 in the hole, obviously, too, because I think they'll be the 2 contenders. But we're still going just like business as usual. We want to win the last. We would like to win out, but obviously we're going to go to Texas to Phoenix and try to win both of them. Have a little momentum.
All right, where have you already ordered your clock yet?
The clock is going to be here 7 to 10 days. She's still getting orders on it, but I'm going to have it and I'm going to chime it every hour once it gets here. I can promise you that. So it's going to be here. Hopefully, first part of December, it'll be here, and I'm going to set it up, and I'll probably listen to it for the first 24 hours, time every hour. So I'm ready for it to get. I've been wanting this thing for a while, so we're going to enjoy it. That's for sure.
You know, I was thinking that after I seen that y'all had won, and I was thinking that when we were there and we were looking at that clock upstairs, and you said, you know, I thought we would have won again, and I would have got me one, but I'm telling you, the next time we win, I'm going to get me one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I told her. We were in a little townhouse when me and her first got married, and eventually we had, obviously, just like any other couple, we were waiting to get a house, and I told her we won Martinsville, and they had the option to get one. I said, you know, I don't want to move it twice. I don't want to break something like that trying to move it, because I don't have the best of patience moving stuff. So I'm sure I would have got a little attitude or got impatient at times. I know it probably got damaged. So I said, you know what? He's won 8 times there. He's going to win again. And we hadn't won till yesterday. And our last one, obviously. And I said, well, we're not going to wait this time. We're going to get one. And so hopefully it gets here quicker than the 7 to 10 days. But it's going to be here before Christmas. That's for sure.
Now, where did you see you don't have a lot of patience? Where'd you get that from?
It runs in the family. On my dad's side of the family, obviously. On my dad, I got it inherited. So I come by it very honestly. That and the left foot going on the interstate gets speeding tickets. We're pretty close in that respect. We've done both of those for the Dodson name, that's for sure.
Well, where did the going fast come from? I know your dad wants to go fast, but I don't know about.
I don't know. I tell you what, I wanted to know the same thing, and I started getting 4 or 5 speed tickets. And I said, honestly, I'm going a little too fast. So I'm not sure exactly where that comes from. Thankfully, the tickets have calmed down a little bit since I moved down here in the last year or two. And the insurance is finally going now where it should be like a normal American. So that's a good thing. I don't know where they're going fast, but we definitely have that in our blood. And we've got a lot of speed tickets to prove it, for sure. Yeah, I come by that honestly, and I'm sure I can tell you that and patience is not our strong suit.
Now, I've always been very patient with you.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes that's hard. I get it. I'm getting ready to get all that return in a couple more years.
That's right. That's
right. I'm gonna get it all back.
Well, now, what is your schedule like for the next 2 weeks? How much work are you going to be getting done in the next 2 weeks?
Well, this week's it's been a little hectic. We went in. I like my Mondays off. We don't get very many of those. We usually get Thursdays. The day we travel, we'll get off. So we'll work Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesdays are usually low days, so we'll work probably a little late then. But being this week, we got a West Coast race coming up. We're still trying to prep our Texas car, and we want to make it the best so we can. We're trying to implement some new stuff to maybe test for Homestead. We can actually do that, which is a good thing. So, you know, whatever downforce they've learned in the wind tunnel from next door, we go back and look at wind tunnel reports, try to implement it. And it's going to get hectic with the Phoenix turnaround. We're going to, majority of the teams will stay after the race a little later, turn the cars around. They got 4 call haulers to come out, swap cars and parts from Texas. They'll bring it all back home, and then they'll go straight to Phoenix. So that part, next week will be a little laid back. We're probably going to work on the homestead stuff a little bit. I don't intend on working a lot next week just because there's not going to be much to work on. But this week we're probably going to, obviously tonight I got off at 6, and last night we got off at 6, and tomorrow will be a little late one time to load. But hopefully the next 2 weeks they're going to try to enjoy it a little bit. Business as usual Monday morning. Jeff told us that, and obviously we got the prize in front of us. We can't give up now. So it's a little hectic this week, obviously, and it'll be hectic homestead week. But next week, kind of take a break, take a deep breath, and get ready for that final push, which we all want. So,
is the stress off compared to what it was before going to Martinsville?
Well, for me, no. But as a team looking at it, yes, it is, kind of. But I'm kind of like that with all the other guys. We don't want to say, we got 2 weeks to lay back. We definitely don't have 2 weeks to lay back. The 22 is one we need to keep out. He's going to run good. The 4 car, we got to catch up to them. Those 2 guys have been kind of the dominant cars. Pretty much the entire year, 22's got a little bit better when Chase started. Mm. So the pressure's not off in the regard. And then homestead week, I told my wife I come home, I'm stressed out, and my blood pressure's high. I said, you know what? They send these space shuttles to space. I'd hate to see what a checklist is on them because I think it's the same thing when I go to work. You have to double, triple check. And we're just sending a race car on the track. I'd hate to be one of those that's doing that checklist. Obviously, you don't second guess yourself, but you want to go back and triple check. You don't want to be the weak lead to have a failure in your area, and you don't have a failure at all. But it's a little bit amplified now that you're one of the final 4, trying to make the case, trying to win the championship. And now, obviously, the pressure's still going to be on, regardless if we're guaranteed in or not.
Now, does the rest of the other 3 Hendrick teams, do those guys come and try to help you guys for the rest of the season?
I would think so. I've seen Jimmy come over during practice, ask for just that, see something, or whether it's pit road speed or whatever. I've seen that happen. I'm sure they've been kind of open arms to 5. Casey comes down and says, whatever he can do to help. I'm not going to say they're going to do that. Those teams are still trying to go out and win races, and I don't want to give it to us. And by far, we haven't had anything give it to us this year. We've earned it. Happy for it. Regardless of the situation this past week, and I think our teammates would be more than willing to help. We haven't always been like that this year. We've kind of been disappointing. The 88 this weekend was of them to death. They just run us a little harder than what I would like. We all get a little upset about it, but they're trying to win a race too, and that's their motive, just like everybody else. But I think they've been, to this point, they've been more than open arms with us, and that's good. It's all I want to win, but at the end of the day, all 4 teams are still winning. That's the way I want it. I don't want to, with 2 to go, if the 5's leading, hey man, just let the 24 go by. I hope that's not going to happen. I don't see that happening, but we've earned it. I think they've done a really good job, our teammates have, of helping us achieve that. So I think so.
All right, well, we're going to let you get to doing whatever you need to get to do tonight, and we'll talk to you again. I'm happy for you. You're my racing hero.
I'm happy. I'm glad that I got this opportunity. Every kid, I've told my dad this, and I've told my wife this many times. Every kid stands in their backyard or whatever, throws a football in the air, plays catch, and they want to be in that championship moment, and it's finally real, and it's getting ready to happen. I couldn't be more blessed. My family couldn't be more blessed. And I wish my little boy was a little bit older to experience and know what was going on. That's kind of a bummer, but
yeah.
One day we'll be able this to be something to talk about. It's history. It's kind of like we discussed in our meeting this morning. We have a team meeting every Tuesday, and this is history that's going to be talked about forever. Just last year and going to Martinsville for the last time and winning. We're writing history, and hopefully we can continue to write it. Hopefully I can bring that ring home and pawn it off, because I'll probably wear it to bed and everything else for a couple weeks after. I'm sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, well, we'll talk to you later. Go give the grandson a kiss for me, and we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you later, and love you, son.
We love you. Hopefully we're talking here in a couple weeks, and I'll still be up probably. Well, I probably won't sleep for a couple of days after. So hopefully we can talk again with a little bit different championship or something to talk about. Something a little bit better than the win.
Heck
all right, we're going to do that.
Good luck, Lee.
Best of luck, Lee.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, see you.
Bye.
Good. I was so happy, not just for Lee. I mean, it adds a little bit because we have a connection with Lee, but just Jeff in general, him having a tough season and then going to Martinsville and kind of got a gift there. and it's great for those guys from their perspective. Hey, and that wrecking stuff is great for the sport. I know a lot of people don't like it to an extent, but it adds. We're talking about it. We're talking about NASCAR. But if they can derail the 22, because they're the car on the top of the hill right now to beat.
All right, I'm trying to get Nick back on the phone.
Oh, I thought you were trying to call.
I know you don't want to go there with me.
You know, it's funny hearing the start parking it fast.
Well, the speed ticket thing's got me when we just go.
Speeding tickets, start, park, and speeding.
Hello?
Hello, Nick. I'm sorry we had a surprise caller on the line when you called. Lee called in.
Oh, I got you.
So I'm sorry we got all crossed up there. But joining us on the show now is Nick Harrison, the crew chief of the number 3 card for the Xfinity Series for RCR. And Nick, I got Joe Staples and Scott Allen here with me. So how are things going with you, man?
Everything's good up here at RCR. Just started up for these last 3 races of the year, and still know we're alive for the championship. So we're hoping for the best and plan on trying to get a victory, if not multiple, for the year's over.
So how far out of the lead are you for the championship?
We're 36 points out, which is a big distance, but we're only, I think, 7 out of second. So if the 60 car was to have bad luck like we did at Dover, it puts us right back in the saddle. So we're not giving up nothing, and going to give it all we got.
How did the crew chief switch that you guys did between you and Danny Stockman? How did that work out for you? I mean, is it a good thing for you?
I don't see it as a bad thing whatsoever. Me and my team had success early on, and they decided to make a swap. So we've been all around victory lane with ties. Just haven't landed on it yet, but I believe it's going to happen. And I've enjoyed the challenge of trying to get the championship under our wing. And I don't see it being a bad thing at all. It was a business decision from our managers at RCR, and we've hit the ground running with time. Feel like we're a top 5 competitor each week in, week out, and know that we can win with it. So he's got confidence in us, and we've definitely got confidence in him, and definitely think that we're gonna be in victory lane for the year. So if not on the main stage, it's thankful.
Well, now is it easier to have a guy like Ty, and you have him as your main driver, and he drives with you every week, or did you enjoy having the variety of drivers that you had with the other team? That seemed to be like that would be a little bit harder.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge, but having rotating drivers or not a set driver on your schedule, there's pros and cons out of it. I've worked for James Spence for multiple years. We always had a rotation of drivers or different guys ran different tracks, and it wasn't my first time before I came to work here to handle that type of duty. But there's, like I said, there's pros and cons, and having the same driver every week, you know what you need to be working on, you know what he needs, and sometimes you get to go with each other, and it's just not that's where the swapping drivers here and there might keep things a little fresher or more exciting. So I definitely like being Ty's full-time crew chief, and don't think down on having multiple drivers if I had a schedule like that again. So I enjoy both, and there's pros and cons of both, but I'm definitely enjoying where I'm at right now.
Hey Nick, we got a fan question. You want to know, does it make it easier or harder for the teams to make rule changes during the off season or during the season? Is it more difficult during the season compared to during the off season?
What's the question? Rule changes during the season or off season?
Correct.
Which would be better? Which was easier?
It's always a good thing to do the rule changes during the off season. And the reason I say that is because you have a little time to react. You can get to your resources, whether it be wind tunnel or setting post or even simulation world. It gives you a little better time period to get all your ducks in a row. So I'm not a big fan of rule changes in the middle of the year, but on another hand, sometimes rule changes are good. You might see somebody struggling for a while or getting a rut. They make a rule change, and man, they're taking off. Whether the arrow or the engine change or something might just suit a driver's style a little bit better than the practice going on. So as far as the team and as far as handling the rule change, definitely easier to do it during the off season.
Nick, I was in Charlotte a few weeks ago. Scott and I were down there, and I was walking around the both garages, and I just realized when I got back to the motel that night, I realized something very special about you. You, with the guys that you had down in Spartanburg, and where you guys have gone since you've left Spartanburg, there's a lot of success with the guys that you had working for you down there. And I got to say, it all comes from you.
Yeah, Jack, I can't take full credit for that. I was lucky enough to have a really good group of racers that all had a lot of heart and passion, and I definitely led the team down there that way. We were all in, and I was always, you knew where I stood every day because I let you know, and I was all in. It was my everything down there, just like it is here at RCR. But I think all those boys that have went on to other teams like the Sun, I hope that they learned early in their career when they worked with me that you really have to love, eat, sleep, and dream about what to do, and that's what makes you better than the next guy. And I can't take all the credit, but I do think that you see a lot of our guys being successful from team racing, maybe just because of the way we carried our feelings on our sleeves and really cared about what we did down there. And when you learn something like that at a young age, it carries with you the rest of your life.
It definitely did, and I was looking at, you got Andrew, he's there with you at RCR, he's done well. You got Tristan with the 9 and the Xfinity, he's done well. Lee's done well where he's gone to, even though he's had some struggles along the way, but he got there and he's done well. You seem to be that little factor that made it all come true for all of them.
Yeah, I mean, Jack, I'd love to say that I taught them everything, but those guys, they were all grassroots racers, and they rolled their sleeves up and got in there deep and everything that we had going on down there. And if I feel like maybe I taught them anything, it was pour your heart and soul into what to do for a living, because it's going to count. And like I said, hopefully all those guys kind of learned that and they'll carry on with them throughout their career.
Well, Nick, I did hear Jack compliment you, so you might want to mark that on the calendar.
Yeah, Jack's not always complimentary. He'll let you know something he don't like to do. That's what I like about Jack.
I know he tells me what he doesn't like about me all the time.
Yeah, I can probably be Mr. Nice Guy on the phone here, but I'm one that I don't like stuff. You know where I stand.
But you know what? I think you gain some respect from that, because you always know where you stand. There's no sugarcoating it. You know where you're at. And you know what? And I think that's what makes you fit at RCR so much, because I think RC's kind of that way.
And it's when you go from a team size to James Finch's operation to an RCR, which is a huge operation, there is the political battles and the things that you don't need to do, and how you need to go about business differently than what you were when you were the lead cat at a smaller organization. And I learn more and more about that every day. And I still don't always take the political route, but there's certain situations where you do have to step back and use your head a little bit better than what you would on a smaller deal when you're the head cheese. And you're not in an organization like RCR, but you do have Richard, Mike Dillon, and those guys do coach themselves along the same you know where they stand. So when you work for somebody that's like that, it's easier to be like that. But in the grand scheme of things, there's a whole lot of managers, a whole lot of divisions, aero engines, you know, so on and so forth, fan shop. Just a whole lot of people. So you can't just step on people's toes so people can misunderstand how you come across. But you can still be yourself if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. That you got to do what you got to do, and sometimes people don't look at it the same way you do.
Now, Nick, you talked about Mike Dillon. What everybody? I think everybody gives Mike a hard time. What does Mike do around there?
You know, Mike is he actually has a really hefty responsibility there. And I think some people say, well, he's his dad or he's married to Tina, but he's definitely to me a huge part of the organization and keeps it glued together and kind of keep morale going and negativity out. And he's the guy that everybody, when they have an issue, they feel like they can go talk to about something. He's definitely on all the competition side of things as far as race car development. He's got his hands on that because he's ball rolling there. But he plays, to me, and it might not be to everybody, he plays a larger important role into trying to make sure people are happy and people enjoy working in RCR. And there's always guys that get mad or fed up with their current situation or what's going on, you know, with their you know, job or job title or whatever the battle is. But Mike stands out and above everybody there for somebody that I think definitely tries to keep people's smile on people's faces and goes out of his way to make sure that you're happy. And what can we do if you're not? He's there every day and plays a huge role. And I always mention that when people say, "Well, what's Dylan do? He don't do nothing." Well, he does a whole lot, and that's kind of blow you know, smoke up anybody's character. But he's a true racer. He races himself, and there's a clan of guys that work there now that grew up racing with Mike Dillon. My car chief Mike Sears got his in racing through Mike Dillon's late model career. So he's a special guy and does a whole lot for the company.
Yeah, I just like to give Mike a hard time. We raced with him back, and he was kind of the man to beat at North Wilkesboro there for a while, and he had a white GM Goodwrench, AC Delco. It kind of changed her a little bit off of the black at one time because people gave him a hard time because of the connection there. But he was the man to beat there for a couple of years there at Wilkesboro in the late model days. So everybody used to give him a hard time to him, and he does have that personality that you like to hang around because he is funny, and I think that's why everybody gives him a hard time.
Yeah, I'm sure, and he allows it to happen, just his personality. But, you know, I myself give him a hard time when I can. He'll give me a hard time back, and that's the kind of relationship you want to have with somebody that's that high up in an organization that you work for and care so much about.
Well, Nick, we're going to let you get back to what you're doing tonight. We really appreciate you taking time. I appreciate and everything you've done for Lee and everybody, all those guys that you've had working with you. It just hit home with me at Charlotte this year when I saw all those guys, and I really, you know, I want to say thank you for what you did for them.
Yes, sir, Jack. And man, it's something when I see those guys, I don't just not pay attention to it. Lee makes me proud. So do all the rest of the guys. You know, Lee was my car chief down there at Benches, and I don't let it be unnoticed that when he comes by to talk to me in the garage, they're like, "Hey, who's that?" I was like, "That's my car chief. He's a mechanic on Gordon's car." You know, that's proud for me to say as well. But Jack, sorry, I'll get a couple phone calls in on your show, but anytime, man, and thanks for having me.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later, and appreciate your time tonight. Okay.
And good luck the rest of the year.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, man.
Yeah, I think Nick does fit in well at RCR because of his personality that he has. Because he has that personality that tells you what's on his mind, And I don't think he's one that, today it's this decision, tomorrow it's another. It's no, this is the way I want it, and if you can't do it, then there's 50 other people there behind you that'll take your spot. You either do it the way I want it.
And he's
to the point.
He's definitely to the point. I mean, when he made the comment about wearing everything on your sleeve, and he is one of those that does that. He does wear it on his sleeve.
Does.
And if he doesn't get the result that he thinks it's deserving, he's going to let somebody know. It may not be the greatest way to let somebody know, but he gets that point across. And he and I had a little thing one time too, where I respected. He was the man. I mean, he's the man in charge there. I mean,
well, he kind of ran most of everything over there, right?
Oh, he was it. I mean, he was calling the shots on everything, but and you got to know when to play with him and not when not
Call
to play
from
with him.
7,
I didn't know when to play with him.
4, 3, 7, 9, 0.
All right, joining us on the show now is Andrew Dixon. How you doing, Andrew?
Good, Jack. How are you, mate?
I'm doing great, man. And I tell you what, I really appreciate you taking time out tonight to talk with us on the show. We just had Nick on the show just a minute ago, and it's really great to talk to you guys.
Oh, no worries at all. Nick's definitely a character, that's for sure.
You got that right.
And he talked good about you too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I'd like to think so. I mean, Nick's a good friend of mine. We obviously worked together for 5 years down at Phoenix Racing, had a lot of good times, and I can see them on here at RCR at the moment.
Well, one of the things, Andrew, that I told him a minute ago was I looked while I was in Charlotte, and Scott was with me. I don't know if I mentioned it to him there or not, but I was walking around, and I was looking at the Cup garage and the Xfinity garage, and to see guys like you and Tristan and Nick and Lee and all you guys that have come from Phoenix to where you are now and the success you're having, that is unbelievable. I think it is a great way to say what you guys did down at Phoenix Racing was more than just what it looked like.
It definitely was. It was, James Phoenix threw me a lifeline back in 2009 when I'd only been here in the country for, 12 months or so, and gave me an opportunity to just basically have a job, which was great at the time. And the 5 years I worked there, I feel like the bond we formed with those guys, with Lee and Nick and those guys, is kind of the friendship that you kind of work for each other, which is a lot of the bigger teams didn't have, I feel like. And we punched above our weight most of the time, and it was a lot of fun. And those are guys who I'll be friends with, like Nick and Lee and all those guys. Even if I went back to Australia tomorrow, they're still guys I would classify as friends, and we created a lot of good memories together, that's for sure. With Talladega, with Brad being the main one, obviously. But yeah, definitely a great time down in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Yeah, I know. And the times I spent around you guys when I was, I probably was a nuisance to you a lot of times, but it was a lot of fun to be down there, to be around it. I mean, I've always dreamed of being around it, and then to see Lee there and working with you guys and working with Nick and seeing how everything was working, I couldn't stay away from it. And it's, I really appreciate all the time and effort that you guys did and the successes that you did have.
That's right. I mean, there's something to be said. It's kind of hard to quantify when you work for your guys around you. You don't want to quit, or you don't want to leave the environment or go work for a bigger team because you're working for your mates, basically. It wasn't, for me personally, it wasn't until James Smith decided to get out of the sport that in 2013 that it was really the catalyst for me moving on. Up until that point, loyalty is something that's pretty important to me, that I value pretty highly. And working for Nick and working for those guys is something that even if you didn't have the opportunity to earn as much money or whatever else, you're going to work for those guys because they were your boys. That's something that you can't. A lot of places don't have, and it's something that you can't really buy. It's something that's pretty special, I feel like.
So Andrew, how does somebody come from Australia and end up in NASCAR? How did you? I don't know. That's a long way to come to work in NASCAR.
It definitely is. I mean, in Australia, you know, back then, especially when I moved over here in 2008, and NASCAR wasn't very big, but I watched it a little bit late at night and kind of seeing places like Daytona and Bristol with these huge crowds is something that you just don't get where I'm from with a small population. And when V8 supercars is kind of the main form of racing, because road course racing, you don't have that kind of stadium effect. And there's something that kind of always intrigued me. And then I got to a point in my life, I finished my degree down in Melbourne, Australia, and I've been working with V8 supercars for a few years, and I was 25 and single, and kind of wanted to do something different that most guys wouldn't do in that position. And I was either going to go to Europe and kind of pursue a Formula One dream, or go to the South and over here and try to do NASCAR, which is something that definitely most Australians, there's not many of us here doing that. So I spent 12 months writing resumes, seeing if I could get a job interview, and after about literally 12 months of doing that, I was lucky enough to get an interview. So I'm like, put all my eggs into that basket to fly over here in December of 2007 and gave myself basically a month to see if I could land a job, and was fortunate enough to do so. And then the rest is history, I guess. You know, I kind of felt like to take it year by year, and when I stop having fun, I go home. But right now we're still having fun, so that's the main thing.
Now, did your family think you were crazy for moving all this way to work?
I think they did. I definitely don't. I think NASCAR was a foreign concept for them at the time, but yeah, they were going to support me one way or another. And then it kind of, me coming over here kind of coincided with Marcus Ambrose coming over here. So that being the case, they got a lot more coverage over there. You know, they got a lot more television coverage and media coverage. So the good thing about what I'm doing is that, you know, my parents and my family and all those people can kind of see what we're doing week to week and get a good feel for, you know, watching what we do week to week, which is good for them, and it makes it feel like I'm not that far away, I guess. That was good.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that what kind of gave you interest to come over here and do that? Was Marcus Ambrose coming over from there?
Not so much, honestly. I was watching it, like, we came over here pretty much at the same time. I watched Marcus race in Australia back in 2003, 2004, and those times, and he was a man back then. And I don't think that him coming over here inspired me. I'd kind of already made up my mind that I wanted to do that. And he might have been, I think, 6 months or 12 months ahead of me. But I would just watch it late at night and kind of had a fascination with it, because NASCAR or AustralianCar was kind of big in Australia back in the 90s, but it kind of died out in the later 90s, which is a little bit before my time, and it just kind of fascinated me. And I don't know, I took an interest to it, and like I said, I'd made my mind up, not only to come and do NASCAR, but it kind of took me to a part of the world that I didn't know a lot about, and I get to travel around and see all these different cities here in America that have such different culture. And it was as much about life experience as it was about, you know, work experience when I moved over here. So I think it's all going to plan so far, and I'm looking forward to continuing for a few years to come.
Now, your crew chief, Danny Stockman, we had him on the show a couple weeks ago, and he said he said he really missed you while you were gone to Australia.
Yeah, he definitely did.
He said that a couple times. So did he put you back to work hard when you got back the other day?
Yes, we've definitely been trying to catch up here the last couple of days. His extended schedule kind of allowed me to go home. It was one of my good friends growing up was getting married, so I kind of made a commitment to go and do that there for a week or so. But, you know, me and Danny kept in touch while I was over there, and we're fine. We got caught up yesterday and today, and we'll just do it a couple more days there for Texas. The good thing about Texas is it has a lot of similarities to Charlotte, and that's obviously we had a little bit of success there a few weeks ago. So hopefully we can just kind of build on that and kind of carry that momentum here to Texas this weekend. It's kind of the plan.
Now, when they switched crew chiefs, did they switch the whole crews, or did y'all stay and just the crew chiefs changed?
No, we stayed together as a team. So
Okay.
Danny, it was my crew chief from the very start, and my mechanic, and everyone stayed the same. They pretty much just changed the driver and the number on the side of the car, because obviously, you know, we were struggling at the start of the year. There's no doubt about that. and whether it was just a chemistry issue between us and Ty or whatever, but I'm not sure the reason, honestly, because it's one of those things. You don't work any hard. We haven't been working any harder the second half of this year. It's just sometimes we might not have been able to understand the messages he was, or what give him the car that he needed, and the performance wasn't there. So I guess the change did need to be made, and that's fine. I think that they made that change back in June, July. We still have looked back, and it's been great.
Mm-hmm. Now, what's it like working with Austin? Because he's kind of a prankster, and I was listening to him when we were at Charlotte on the radio, and it seemed like he was kind of messing with you guys sometimes throughout the race, which makes things fun.
It makes things fun. I worked with him a little bit at Phoenix Racing. He drove a 61 car a few years ago, I think.
Okay.
Almost. He might have been his second and third races. I worked with him a little bit there, and it's amazing to see how far he's come. Just racing full time last year on Sundays. Now he comes back to race on Saturdays. It's a lot easier for him. He feels like he's the man, and then it's incredible just seeing that improvement over the last 2 or 3 years. But Austin's great. He definitely pushes us hard. He expects a lot out of us, and we expect a lot out of him. And him and Danny have a very special bond. I feel like we have to win the championship in 2013. They're on a level that I hadn't seen a lot between a driver and a crew chief. Like Stockman can kind of look into his eyes and know what he's thinking without us even having to say it, and that's kind of something that makes it a lot easier for us. Because honestly, we have the tools at RCR to win races, but it's all about just giving the driver what he needs and the driver knowing what he needs, and the relationship that him and Stockman have make that a lot easier for us to do our job. That's for sure.
Yeah, I told him they were brothers from another mother or something.
I really do feel like that's the case.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, how much of a culture shock was it for you when you left Phoenix Racing and went to RCR with the two different types of teams and the budgets and everything is different? What was it like to go to RCR after being at Phoenix for that long?
It took a while to settle in, honestly. I joined at the start of last year, and they had just come off winning the championship, so they were a quality team, and with whatever it is, 400 or 500 employees, it was just different, and they had so many tools to do their job with, and it took me honestly about 6 months to feel comfortable and feel like I was contributing, not just learning, learning about their systems and learning and being able to kind of bring in the things that I've learned and bring in my own systems and have my own kind of input. It really took about 6 months for us to kind of gel as a team last year, and it was Ty's first full-time drive. So it took a while for us all to gel, but I feel like we did. The second half of last year was really good, and it's definitely different. Like the expectations are that you need to win races at RCR, and that's a good thing. That kind of puts a different kind of pressure on you. Whereas at Phoenix Racing, if we kind of punched above our weight and ran top 10, there was a bonus, and everyone was like, wow, that was awesome. But if you didn't, people kind of expected you to be an all-star anyway, so it didn't really matter. There wasn't the pressure we may have put upon ourselves was there, but the outside pressure wasn't there. Whereas now, especially being on Ty or Austin's car, there's a lot of pressure from a lot of people to do well all the time, and actually that's a good thing. It kind of brings the best out of you, I feel like.
And your relationship with Stockman, I mean, you have to work very close with Stockman. So I know your relationship with him has to be, you have to be right on top of everything with him.
Oh, Stockman's definitely a character, that's for sure. He's unique, but I feel like he's a great crew chief, and we get along well together. We kind of bring different things to the table, but it all kind of works, I feel like. I kind of have strengths in areas that he doesn't, and vice versa. And that's similar to Nick in a lot of ways. Again, a great crew chief, but very different backgrounds. That was kind of the angle that I brought when I was moving over to the States, that bringing different experiences and different forms of racing, that kind of thing, bring that to the table is only a good thing, because every week you're faced with different problems or what you can do to make the car better. And if you both come from the same place, you're both going to have the same answer, but or the same solution. If you come from different places, then you can have different points of view, and I think it just works well. And while me and Stockman and Nick might be very different people, I'm great friends with both of them, and I think we all work well together.
Yeah, I really do too. I think, and I really like Danny. Danny's he's something else. Every time I get around him, it's a lot of fun. So, but
he definitely has the biggest heart you've ever seen, and honestly, just played with him, and all he wants to do is race. All he wants to do is win. And sometimes he can rub people the wrong way with the way he comes across, but it's only because he has that passion to win, and that's kind of you can't buy that. You know, that's what it's all about.
Well, Andrew, I appreciate your time tonight. I know you're a busy person, got a lot going on, but I appreciate you taking time out. It was an honor to talk to you because I've been wanting to get you on for a long time, and
no worries at all, Jack. Anytime at all.
Okay, well, we appreciate it, and maybe we'll get you back on here real soon, and we can go into about this Australia trip because I heard it was a lot of fun for you.
It definitely was. Got up to some shenanigans, that's for sure.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot, Andrew.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, he's fun to listen to because of his accents. Well, Periscope, we got like 4 people watching us. We're live here on our show.
Live on Periscope.
So if you got any questions, just let us know. I bet he does well with the ladies.
Oh, yeah.
They go crazy over
man.
The mate.
Man, I wouldn't know what to do for a voice like that.
All fairness, in case his girlfriend is watching. All fairness, I know he's got a girlfriend.
I got a picture of him and his woman there.
Yeah,
I don't know how he done that, but
he's definitely, him and Stockman definitely are batting out of their league right now.
That's for sure.
But anyway, no, I really, I know I said it 3 or 4 times tonight already, but it's really interesting. And I did, and it was like when we were in Charlotte, I really got to thinking about it when I was there.
you had said that while we were there talking about.
He started at the same time with
No, he was there before Lee got there. But it's just interesting to see how these guys have moved on, and where they went, they've been successful.
Right.
I mean, Andrew's won races with RCR. Nick had won races at RCR. Tristan over at Junior Motorsports has won races. He's the engineer over there. And, of course, Lee with the 24. And there's been a couple others there, too. But
how many people were in Phoenix?
they had a total of 16 people there.
That was the whole.
That was the whole everything.
Almighty.
And
what do they got now?
Basically only
400 or 500 people with each team now that they're at. Easy.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah. And it is great to see all those guys. And you know what? You got to give them a lot of credit because they did a lot of good with not that much.
Right.
They had some decent equipment.
Oh yeah,
they had nowhere near the resources and stuff that they got. You know that they're working with now. And I'm sure everybody was looking for a lot of guys to come out there.
Next time we get Andrew on here, I have to talk about some of his exploits that I know about. They were during the off season. James Finch would kind of let a few guys go and say, we can't afford to keep you during the off season. But Andrew, being from Australia, he basically depended on this.
Right.
So he had him in painting walls, and this is an engineer up painting walls and stuff. Well, he fell off the ladder.
Oh no!
And broke himself up really good. And I remember James Finch made the comment one time. He was walking by there, and Andrew was on a crutch and had a boot on, and he was walking around there, and he said, "Damn Australians." He said, I might as well go and adopt him. But it was really cool. I mean, those guys have done well.
Andrew, the engineer off of the 33 Xfinity team.
So it's really fun. And I just walked around and I was kind of amazed to see how it worked out. And of course this week seeing Lee win a race this week, and it's unbelievable.
So let's get to the good
part. All right, let's do that. First of all, let's talk about the picks last week. I won. So
I should have won.
Who did you have? Oh,
I had Joe had Logano. We all know what happened to him.
Yeah.
And Clayton had Jimmy Johnson. Huh?
I was talking to her. They're giving us love. They're tapping.
And Clayton had Jimmy Johnson, and oh well, he didn't win. And Scott had Harvick, and he did decent.
He had a better car, and then they got goofed up there or something. And but I don't think anybody really had anything. But the 20 car had anything for the two Penske cars, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, you didn't win, Clayton. I did. So, let's talk about the racing this week.
How about Jeff Gordon?
Yeah, how about him?
Right, so somebody just posted said, "How about Jeff Gordon?" It was a great weekend for Jeff Gordon. He got lucky, but I'd rather be lucky than good any day.
Well, you know, I heard now again. I wasn't at the race. I wasn't at the race.
Yeah. We
But,
weren't at
Martinsville Speedway. I wasn't at the race, but anyway, I heard that through the grapevine that when the 20 came out on the track and the 22 came up on him, a certain crew chief told his driver, "Here it comes."
Oh, really?
Ouch.
And
Yeah,
and
exactly in the wall.
and that driver backed off a little bit because that had happened. Then he went on around him.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's just talk about it. All right, we got Matt Kenseth was suspended for 2 races. He's on probation for 6 months. I don't know how everybody else feels here on the panel. I don't agree with it.
I don't agree with it either.
I certainly don't agree that he should have been suspended. I do think he went too far at this particular time. I think if Matt and Joey were racing for the lead and he'd wrecked him, I don't think nearly anybody would have said anything. Right. But it was because he was 8 laps down, and he just came out there for one reason and one reason only, and to knock him out of the championship.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him for being mad. And I think what started it with Joey spinning Kenseth out. If you watch the video, not only did he just spin him out, he went a little too far with it.
he lifted it up. He lifted it back in the car.
Right. I mean, he didn't just get into him, back off, and let him save the car and go by him. He just flat went in there and wrecked him without tearing his car up, which is his right to do. But you also got to think there's some consequences that are going to come with that. And this was some of the consequences. And then he was a little gloaty about it afterwards.
But I'm not going to be one who's going to sit here and degrade NASCAR.
No, they have
They have to do
something.
it. They had to do something. I understand that. But when the president of NASCAR gets on Sirius XM, I wasn't going to call names, but anyway, he gets on XM radio and talks about, well, the move Joey Logano made, that was a pretty smart move, you know. And then he makes the comment that because he knew that he was going to have to race that 20 later on in the chase. But then he goes at, and yeah, I know it's not the same type of situation, but then Kenseth does what he does, and you're going to really stick it to him.
Yeah, I think you're going too far. I do wish, but I do think Logano did what he had to do. I don't think he had to wreck him as bad as he did there, going for the win. He certainly, I think it was in the best interest for him to knock him out of the way to win the race and not let Matt win the race, because he was going to have to contend with that 20 car at Homestead if he didn't. So I do think it was a smart move in that case.
I mean, it's a smart move, but NASCAR said, I mean, the man that runs NASCAR said it was a smart move. All right, well, damn, it's a smart move. Let them race. I heard today, let the drivers police themselves. Right. You can't do that to a degree, but then again, I guarantee you, Joey Logano won't mess with Matt Kenseth no more.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean,
he definitely got his attention.
Yeah, I mean, and of course now Kenseth, I mean, you know, he's not in the championship hunt anyway. So, you know, he's going to lose some spots in the points because of it. But
yeah.
That's
the only thing I wish he would have done differently is he would have just owned it.
Right.
I wish he'd have got out of the car and said, "Yeah, I wrecked him." He's going to think twice about next time that he puts a bumper in my car. There's going to be something to it. I'm not going to let him push me around like that.
But it was a string of events.
Yes.
That happened. It happened Kansas when Logano spun him at Kansas. They came back to Talladega the next week. I didn't think this was a big deal, but evidently Kenseth thought it was a big deal when they come in for that pit stop and Joey come across in front of him, jammed on the brakes.
Yeah.
He hit him in the back and then moved over. So
Yeah, Clayton said NASCAR screwed Kenseth. Well, we somewhat agree with that.
yeah, so it you know, and then you're seeing this little cat and mouse game that Joey and Keselowski were playing during the race. I'm going to let him in so we can all go and we can get back in that single line for the turns and stuff. Okay, I get you, but it's going to go wrong somewhere along the line, and it did. And then Kurt Busch got tied up in that. Now Kurt Busch may have been the guy who pushed the 2 into the 20,
right?
But the 20 didn't see it that way. The 20, all he sees is the 2 spinning him out.
All he seen was red, and I mean, I can speak from doing the other side of that, running into somebody. We were on the same lap though, but I owned it, and did I regret it afterwards? Yeah, I thought, damn, I done lost. I got mad and I went too far.
Right.
But I understand the other side of it where Matt, for me, I felt like somewhere along the line you got to take a stand to make sure that you're not pushed around.
If you don't take a stand somewhere along the line, you're going to continuously have somebody beating you, and trying to beat you back in.
We call it bullying.
Yeah,
right.
They're going to. It's going to happen,
Yeah.
and if you don't take that stand, it's going to continue. It's going to continue, and it's going to be even bigger, and it's going to escalate till they're just going to try to take advantage of you every chance they get.
Right.
You don't take advantage of Matt Kenseth. There may be some guys out there you can do that to. He's not one, and maybe he didn't handle it exactly right.
Right.
But
none of us do in the heat of the moment. I mean, none of us do.
Yeah, I mean, some people drive around the track backwards to hit somebody, and
Yeah.
that wasn't very well thought out either.
No, I didn't think
It was thought out.
no, it wasn't. But I owned it, and I went to Scott afterwards, or the first race, actually in practice, and said, "Hey, look, yeah, I tried to flip you over on purpose." But
That was a season later, though, right?
what was the next race?
Oh, okay. Because you were worried of what? Retaliation?
No, I really wasn't, because I was never going to be run for a championship, but he will.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But I just I didn't want to have all this hearsay in between all of it and it drag out further, because I have nothing to lose. He does.
Right.
And whoever else I was racing against. But I will say, backing up what led up to those events, and I never took it personal. I was mad. Most definitely I was mad at him, and I tried to make it very difficult on him.
Right.
And rightfully so, I did. And there were several times he wrecked me in those cases because I was trying to wreck him. But after he wrecked me and tore my car up, I wasn't mad at him, because I knew we had a problem. And when he came up to pass me, I would run him down onto the concrete and come back up in my lane. And then when he got up beside me, he'd run me up in the wall. Well, that's right. That's okay.
Right.
Because I tried to wreck him, and he wrecked me back. He was just better at it than I was. And I learned a lot from that. When you race somebody and not let them pinch you in the wall because it breaks your car. But I learned a lot. But I didn't get out of the car after those wrecks and get madder at him, because, those instances, I deserved it because I was making it rough on him. I tried to wreck him.
Well, he did get out of his car now.
Well, that was the last one.
You might want to slide over just a tad there, Joe. I'm going to slide this way because there's lightning going to come through this. It's going because he says he didn't get out of the car. He don't get out of the car and get mad. That's not true. 'Cause I seen him get out of the car and kick another car.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I had to break up that one, too.
And the bad part about it is he hurt his own foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one
forgot
fan
about it.
says it's a good thing he did it at Martinsville and not at Texas. And that's right, because
Right.
Texas is a very fast racetrack.
Somebody could have definitely got hurt.
Well,
Right.
from that.
And that's what we had heard.
And again, you knew it was. I mean,
yeah.
a lot of people had talked
There
about
was a
it.
lot of speculation that
And,
Martinsville was going to be paid.
Martinsville was the one, and then you can't do it at Talladega because somebody could
no.
get killed
Somebody-
at Talladega.
right,
yeah.
You can't do it at Kansas because it's a high-speed track. Okay, when you come to Martinsville, that's the perfect time to stuff
Yep.
somebody in the wall, and so Danica and Kenseth did it.
Yeah, and Danica, I gotta say, I don't agree with her. I don't think she should have been penalized just because she said she never really got a chance to get. She didn't get a chance to get $50,000 worth of damage out of somebody else's car for her.
no.
She still owes him. In my opinion, she owes David Gilliland a shot. And I'd make it a lot worse than just rubbing me up against the wall.
Yeah.
As we know, I will.
Yeah. But I agree with you there. I think that was a little.
I think that was uncalled for. I think that was just racing.
And that's
they should have penalized her or docked her
situation.
Points.
That's a situation like we were talking about. He thought he could push her around.
And I think probably the average driver on a Cup Series probably thinks that.
And so he just decided I'll push her around, and then she headhunted back for him and got him. So, but he didn't do it the way you should.
Right, she's not that good at it. I mean, she doesn't know. But I think you got to know when you make that decision. I've done it. I'm sure you probably have done it racing. I mean, I've done it in arena. You come up on a slower guy that you're not used to racing with, and he's slower than you or whoever that person may be, and you want him out of your way because you got to get to the front. Mm-hmm. Some of it's impatience. And I know I've roughed some of those people up, and afterwards I'm like, hey, I wanted you to get out of my way. But you gotta know when you do that, there can be some consequences.
Yeah.
And you gotta accept that. So
NASCAR did come down pretty hard on Kansas. They come down on Danica today too, pretty hard. Took 25 points and $50,000.
This is ridiculous to me.
But Kansas, he's going to be out for 2 races, and of course, they're not going to.
Joe, we're still online. We got like 5 or 6 people been periscoping with us. Thanks. Tap the screen. If you got any questions, we'd be glad to answer them.
Do you think they'll put anybody in the car?
Well, that's an interesting thing that you should say that, because today around lunchtime they were already fitting Eric Jones in the car.
Yeah, I think they already knew, and so, I think obviously
definitely somebody's going to get some good seat time.
Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano, or no, backwards. I mean, I think it's a perfect fit for Eric Jones to be in the car for 2 weeks. I do feel bad for Matt, but I do wish he would have owned it. I mean, I just wish he'd have owned it. Thank you. But hey, it's water under the bridge at this point to blame the tire. And I even had a couple people message on Twitter and was like, does anybody have any footage to see if the tire was really down? I'm like, that tire was not down. You can see it when they picked it up with the wrecker. That right front was still up and it won't rub on the ground. The splitter won't on the ground.
If that's the case, he should have been playing the lottery last.
Yeah, exactly. I just wish he would have just said, yeah, I wrecked him and I'm not going to tolerate it anymore.
Yeah.
Just own up what you're going to do.
All right, before we go off the air here, we need to make our picks for this week.
You want to talk about the BKR racing?
Well, we can talk about that, or we can talk about it later with them.
Okay.
The only thing that changes, Daniel Hemrick is going to BKR next year to drive the 29 truck full time for Brad Keselowski. And Kyle Busch made his picks this week, and I can't think of who the third one was. But William Byron and Chris Bell are going to be running full time at KBM.
It's nice to him give those guys like William Byron, which I think would have got a ride somewhere. He's got some resources and some sponsorship, but Chris Bell that did real well in the dirt race at Eldora and deserves a shot.
Yeah, but he's done pretty well on asphalt too. I mean, he's had some top 10. So I mean,
for no more experience than he's got on asphalt, and then in these big trucks.
I think was it Matt Tift was the other one. I'm drawing a blank.
I couldn't find it
anyway
before we went on the air.
All right, well, we're going to do our picks, and then we're going to hang it up for tonight. Hopefully, we'll have Max Siegel with us next week, and I know Jefferson Hodges will definitely be here next week because he told me he would, and Max Siegel called me and told me he would be here next week too. So,
they haven't put out a list yet of
no, they have not done that. That has not been announced. That would be cool if that did come out between now and then too. That would be really cool too. But anyway,
nice if he came in on the show.
Well, it would be nice, but don't think that's going to happen. I think that's going to be done at NASCAR. And obviously,
we don't find out. We don't find out.
Rate that high?
Well, we don't find out from Martinsville. We're not that big.
All right, we're going to start off with our picks this week, and the guy who finished last goes first.
Who was that?
And Joe, you're up.
I don't know if he's thought about it. His phone's been going off the whole time.
I know.
No, it hasn't.
Old Juicy Joe here.
How you guys doing?
I got to go with Mr. Busch.
Going for Kyle Busch?
Yep. He needs to get the win so he can get in there. He's who I picked for the championship. But I think he'll do well, though. I do think he'll do well.
You know, I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go with somebody. I think he'll have a clean race because nobody will be able to wreck him. I'm going to go with Logano. He's been fast. I think he still has a shot at getting in. It's going to be tough. He's definitely going to have to win. If he don't win at Texas, I don't know that he can do it at Phoenix. You're going to have to go through that 4-car to go. I mean, he's won the last 3 races there in a row with 2 different teams.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah, that's definitely going to be a tough
my
one
pick
to
is
beat.
Eric Jones and the Chase Elliott, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well,
3 in 1 race.
my pick is going to be Kevin Harvick.
He does
Even though I would like to see Jeff Gordon win again, my son doesn't look good in a cowboy hat, so I don't think.
all series. Okay. Harvick. Woo. And then Clayton was going with the 19,
Carl Edwards for Clayton.
which could be a good pick for him. Honestly,
that could be a good pick, but don't worry about it, Clayton. I'll let you know next week if you win.
Actually, Eric Jones wouldn't be a bad one. I mean, that kid has done well every time that kid has gotten a Cup car. In anything, really, he's done really well.
That may be a very big pick there because he may surprise the people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking more along the lines of maybe Phoenix than probably Texas.
For Eric. I'm curious to where he's going to end up next year.
Yes.
I don't look like what we thought was going to happen is going to happen.
That's what I think because it's been awful quiet.
So I don't.
If I had to guess, so Eric Jones is going to be in a Cup car. I don't know if it's going to be full time next year, but he's going to be in a Cup car next year.
Awful quiet because they've already figured it out, or
It's already been announced that he was going to go into a Cup car.
But it didn't say full time. It's going to be a majority of the season, though, I believe. True. Well, I'm glad. I think it's going to be a second car at Furniture Row, being they have an alliance with Joe Gibbs Racing now. I think that's the best place. Rubin is definitely racing, and Reckon is definitely racing apparently too. But that'll be interesting to see where he goes, and they probably won't know that until the beginning of the year next year.
I don't think that's going to be that's going to be announced anytime soon. All right. Well, we appreciate the people we had on the show tonight.
Tap screen.
Nick Harrison, my son Lee Dodson. Congratulations to him. I wish I was there, but that was a big deal. And Andrew Dixon. I mean,
Yeah,
come
I think
on.
all those guys. It was fun having those guys on.
It was really good.
And all had a tie together. They all kind of, I'm going to say, started together. But definitely they all had ties together. Started their major league careers together.
It's Lee's first race. Lee's first race was Brad Keselowski's win at Talladega. That was his first race with James Finch.
That's a cool win. I don't care who you are.
And that's one of the races.
Talladega race. Oh, my God.
And that's one of the races you still see today as being a big finish.
Thanks, Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
And so it's and yeah, we might as well. We haven't done it in a while. We need to thank our sponsors to help us out.
Actually, I want to say something about the Zims Foundation. Thanks to the Zims Foundation for letting us represent them. We have the gala is this weekend. It was Friday. My wife is actually going with me. It's the first time in I don't know how many years. I had the cornhole boards delivered today, and Keith come and pick those things up. So it'll be a nice set of cornhole boards. I want to thank Buck Russ. Buck will be there from the Denny Hamlin Showdown. Buck's going to be there, but Buck also made a nice Richmond package that's going to be auctioned off at the Zims Foundation. It's going to be a couple of hot passes, a big racing experience at Richmond. So I want to thank those guys. Miles of Seamless Gutter for sponsoring me and being part of that with our Champ Kart that we'll be running next year. Arena racing will be starting soon. I'm going to miss not racing that, to be honest with you, because it is a lot of fun. And then Pepsi, thanks for supplying us drinks all season and continue to supply us drinks because I'm a big Mountain Dew and Pepsi guy. We made sure we got those when we were at Charlotte. Because there was some other brand they had in the media center. We had to go by the 24.
Yeah, we had to go by the 24. Yeah, we could.
And get us a good drink.
Yeah, we had to do that.
So thanks Pepsi and Mountain Dew for giving us drinks. And I think that's about. I don't think
Langley Speedway.
Yeah, Langley Speedway. Bill Mullis. I really hope Bill Mullis gets the racetrack and comes back. I don't know where Langley Speedway would be without him. But thank those guys for a great season. We enjoyed having somebody from Langley Speedway every week. And
that's really cool. So pretty soon we'll after the season's over with, we're gonna do. I hope we can do couple of little different things along the way. I want to do a Southampton Speedway thing. I think we ought to do an arena.
Thank you.
We
love you too.
An arena race. I think the arena show we ought to have. Get Ricky and those guys in there, and kind of expand out a little bit and bring different types of stuff in here to. Do something a little different after the season's over with. I think that's what we ought to do.
Yeah, and have like some media people.
I think it'd be really cool.
All three of us sitting in the car at Southampton in the
park right outside the racetrack. There was something I was getting ready to say, but I lost my train of thought.
I don't know. But anyway, we appreciate it. We'll see you next week right here. Same time.